Shalom, everybody. If you don't like my talk, then you know who to blame. I'd just like to thank Sammy and Vicky for this opportunity today. To Jean, who encouraged me to turn talk into action, because it's important to talk about Israel and give our support verbally. But there are times when we have to do more than that. And also to my daughter Ruth, who, as Sally said, couldn't be here today, but when there was first talk about Glasgow Friends of Israel being started up, she said, "Dad, you have to get involved with this." And I suppose as a third generation non-Jewish Zionist, sorry, to add complication to the mixture, I had no choice really. So you might ask the question, well, how does a retired Scottish dentist get a call from the Israeli army? It's a little bit complicated, as things often are. I had tried to volunteer for Magen David Edom, but I was too old by almost exactly twice. So I started looking for other opportunities. And when Joe Richardson was here 2 years ago addressing anti-Semitism in some of the churches, he spoke about Frontier Alliance International, which I'll come to later. A bit more about Operation Good Neighbour, and I'm so glad that Michael's speaking after me, because he'll correct any inaccuracies in what I'm saying in terms of the timing of things. It started as one human being reaching out to another. An injured Syrian man went to the border, one of the border gates with Israel, and said to the officer in charge, "Can you help me?" And he didn't have a policy or a procedure from the IDF, but the injured Syrian was allowed to enter Israel and receive treatment. The follow-on from that was, since approximately 2013, 4,500 injured and 6 Syrians. Not just people who've been injured in the conflict, but people who are just ill have received treatment in Israel. So that's just a little summary of what's happened. And it said there was no army policy, just the decision of the local commander to provide care to the injured Syrian. Things kind of scaled up a bit, as far as I'm aware, in June 2016, when the Northern Command decided to expand the humanitarian operation. There was significant need. And that consisted mainly of bringing injured people or people who were seriously ill across the border into Israel for medical care. But we became aware that in the DMZ, the demilitarized zone between Israel and Syria, up in the Golan, that the people had no doctor, they had no general medical practitioner, and the only dentist in the area was a radical, an extremist, and the local people didn't like him a whole lot. Moreover, he wasn't there very much. Just over a year ago, a medical team went in to the DMZ, to a town called Jabata al-Hassab, to start providing general medical services. They were delivering babies, looking after sick people, treating the injured. And it wasn't just battlefield injuries, but people have car accidents, they fall off motorbikes, they hurt themselves. And the idea was to just fill the gap there. The team that's the portable clinic. It's an ambulance from the UK. Provided thanks to it was a Syrian charity. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of. Managed to transport it up to the Golan, and that just gives a summary of the sort of aims of Operation Good Neighbour. I think that statement by the Chief Medical Officer was quite telling. It was just a privilege to be part of it. It's Dr. Noam Fink. Frontier Alliance International are an American charity. Normally they have young people in their team, but they couldn't get a young dentist, so they were stuck with me. They normally go into conflict zones for 3 months at a time. I just couldn't go for 3 months, so they allowed me to go in for 3 weeks. You know, the IDF gets a lot of flack in the media. Conflict is never easy, in whatever form it takes. Is there any such thing as a clean war? I don't think there is. I mean, war's just horrible, even if you can justify it from your side. I think it was Colonel Richard Kemp who reckoned looking and analysing how different armies operated, described the IDF as one of the most ethical armies in the world. And to that I would now have to add, I'm sure other people have, one of the most altruistic. To get me across the border put Israeli soldiers' lives at risk. And the cost must have been huge. I'm not a military person myself, but you know, members of the family who've been in the military. And it takes a lot to mobilise personnel and vehicles and whatever, quite apart from the risk of opening up the border to a potentially hostile environment. That was the outside of my dental clinic. My door's the one on the right with, I think it's only 4 bullet holes. Not a high-tech, Norton's here. We've got a dentist in the audience. It's not exactly state-of-the-art dentistry, Norton. Oh, there were a lot of challenges. The IDF were brilliant at providing dental equipment that I couldn't ship out to Israel. And a charity called Dentaid really pulled out the stops to get me equipped. Dalton Thomas, the head of Frontier Alliance International, said, "Don, can you just get your tools and come over?" It's not quite as simple as that. I had to get a lot of stuff together. I think it was, I worked out 227 separate items of surgical equipment to start taking teeth out. And Dentaid, brilliant charity, they gave me over £3,000 worth of equipment for £360. So thanks to them. It's not really a plug, but just to say thanks. This was where I should have been working, but as in all conflict situations, things don't always go to schedule. This is the slab that the clinic was being built on, high up on the Golan, 200 metres from the border fence. Basically, in the DMZ, the closer that you were to the Israeli border, the safer you were. And you probably saw it, one of the early slides showing a house that belonged to Jalal, one of our bodyguards. And he built it where it was, just next to this clinic, to get his family away from danger. This is a guy who put his own life at risk looking after us, and only rightly was receiving some protection from being closer to Israel. So the army brought in this prefab clinic, and as I say, it was a couple of hundred metres from the border. And I don't know, that kind of says it all as far as Operation Mobilisation. An Israeli soldier just feeding a sick baby. And the timing of all this was quite remarkable. Exactly a year ago today, I was flying back from Tel Aviv. Operation Good Neighbour, a year on from then, is now wound up, because DMZ, the demilitarised zone, which had become a conflict zone, has been taken back over by the Syrian army, by the Assad regime. When you're in a situation like that, even when the people initially are kind of treating you with suspicion and thinking, what are these guys all about? After 3 weeks living in a dangerous situation, you form bonds with them. A quote from one of the Syrians: "They teach us that Israel is the country that hates us the most, but we have seen differently." To hear that was worth it alone. Just such a privilege to be a part of that. My interpreter, Omar, I think they gave me an old interpreter because I was old. I don't think he could really make me out at first. He kept looking at me as if to say, "What are you doing here?" And he was very formal. And I can understand that. This community they're mountain people. They're a very strong, very close family. They just wanted to do their own thing. They weren't even affiliated to any particular Islamic group. They weren't part of Hezbollah. They weren't part of ISIS. They basically formed a militia to defend themselves. And then nobody comes out of this conflict perfect. But attitudes can change. On the second last day, he came up to me and said, "I've just discovered you're a volunteer." I said, yeah, we're all volunteers. And he said, "And you're so old. And you're still doing this." And I said, "Well, we're all human beings." And in 3 weeks, we went from I just felt it was a kind of frosty reception. He just put his hand around me and he said, "I love you." I just wasn't expecting that. And I can't say that I got that sort of reception from everybody in that community, but I would say that we went from suspicion, a bit of fear, a bit of hatred maybe, to respect. And that's moving forward, isn't it, folks?